What's good, family? Shout out to my doggy, Dylan Young, for coming through and boosting up your man, the YB coin, 100%. So we got some truly breaking news right now regarding your man's Chris Eubank, Mr. 8 weeks, but 2 weeks for you of substance. Yeah, substance from jerking himself off. Listen, Chris, you ain't getting no girls, man. Quit the cap. Yeah, I got girls, and sometimes normally if I'm fighting a big fight, I'll only mash after 8 weeks. But for you, I'm gonna be mashing after 2 weeks. You ain't mashing nothing, man. Tell a lie. You're mashing your hand. Cut the cap. Big capper. My name Chris Eubank Jr. and I'll be mashing girls after 8 weeks but for you, it's only going to be 2 weeks. You ain't mashing nada. Yeah, what you mean to say is, you ain't going to be mashing your hand for a minute. Big facts. Yeah? And my name Chris Eubank, and the truth is, I ain't got no girls. What I'll do is, instead, I ain't going to be jerking myself off for 2 weeks just for you. That's what you meant to say. Anyway, listen, man. Like I said, the number one capper in the world, Mr. Capis Eubank. Yeah? Wait a minute. Rewind that. Mr. Capwank, yeah? Mr. Capank. Chris Capank, how about that? Oops. Man full of lies. Anyway, Mr. Man full of lies has pulled out of the Eubank versus Ben fight. And I found it, I knew something like this was coming. Number one, we know for a fact, anytime there's a half decent fight, or anytime people are excited for a fight, it ain't gonna happen. That's the first sign. The second sign was how much of a joke Chris Eubank Jr. was taking it with. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I'm eating KFC. Oh, mine is Mr. You know what I mean? Mine is Mr. jerking myself off after 8 weeks. Oh, I'm not jerking myself off for 8 weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah? Oh, I'm gonna eat KFC. Oh, I'm eating KFC. Yeah. Oh, I don't need to train hard for you. Yeah? Giving it all that he was, about how he don't need to train, he can eat KFC, and your Mr. Daddy's boy has to pull out. Yeah. Again, I knew it was coming. The guy's a clown. Yeah? And it's easy to be a clown. It's easy to be eating KFC when you know the fight ain't gonna happen. Do you understand? Because whatever you say about Conor Benn, I believe Conor Benn was about to set about Chris Eubank. And he knows that. And I was the one actually who originally leaked this news. That Chris Eubank Sr. was shook that his son was going to drop the ball on his legacy and didn't want the fight. I was the first one to leak the information, and everyone said, oh, you're making it up. Oops. Anyway, let's give you a man a leak here, quick time. Chris Eubank Sr. has claimed that he's now pulled Jr. out of the Conor Benn fight on October 8th due to concerns about the £157 catch weight. Eubank Sr. said, my son's life cannot be put in danger. I've already lost one. It can't happen again. So essentially he's saying he's shook to bits of Conor Benn setting about his son and ending his life. Bottom line, because otherwise, where would it make sense? You can't tell me it's not going to be just a weight cut alone that's going to end his life, is it? Oops. Yeah. Of course, in isolation, Chris Eubank Sr. knows that Chris Eubank could go to 157 no problem. The problem is going to 157 and then having Conor Benn set about you. That's the issue. That's the risk there. Yeah? There's no, for example, if Chris Eubank Jr. was to be paid £3 million just to get to 157, Eubank Sr. would be all over it. Do you understand? It's not just about the weight cut, is it? Equally, I guarantee you, if Chris Eubank Jr. was to be paid $3 million to fight some bum at 157, Eubank Sr. would be all over it. Oops. Yeah? So Eubank is shook. Eubank knows his son. His son is that B-level dude. He lost to all the A-level dudes. I wouldn't even call Billy Joe A-level. Oops. Billy Joe B-level. And still, Eubank lost. Yeah? Who else you got? George Groves, in my opinion, again, B-level. Guess what? Your man's lost. Yeah? Again, go back and watch my video last month. I told you I spoke to Chris Sr. English, and he told me he don't want his son dropping the ball on his legacy. He's got the 2 wins. Do you understand? He's got the 2. And from as it stands, September 12th, 2022, Senior has the whole legacy locked up. He has no L's to the Benn family. That's how he'd like to keep it. Does he trust? Put it this way, yeah? Put it this way. If Chris Eubank Sr. thought that Junior was going to go in there and knock Ben out. And let's do a bit of mental calculation here. Wait a minute. My name's Chris Sr. and I believe my son is going to go in there and make a right clown show of the Benn family. He'd be all over it, wouldn't he? So wait a minute. Why isn't Chris Sr. all over this? Oh, because he ain't confident. In fact, to the contrary, he's worried to the maximum degree that not only will Junior ruin his legacy, but not only that, he might end up getting his pack smoked as well. Imagine that. Imagine not only having your legacy ruined, but also losing another son. Because Conor Benn has set about him with vicious power. Yeah, Conor Benn don't play this game. Whereas your man's Chris Eubank, he playing with it. Yeah, look at Eubank versus Liam Chinniams dancing around in the 12th round. I guarantee you Eubank Sr. thought, what a clown. It was a clown show. He don't take this game serious. Mr. Eating KFC. Yeah? Daddy's boy have an arse. His dad had to pull him out. I've been telling you, man, for a long time. Daddy's boy. No one listen. My man Chris Eubank Jr. is a big hardback man and he's being pulled out by his dad still. It's bad. How old are you? Is it not time to take off the training wheels right now? Anyway, let's give you, man, some more leaked information right now. 100%. Here's the official leaked document. Yeah? Here's where the leak came from. My son's life cannot be put in danger. I've already lost one. It can't happen again. Chris Eubank Sr. reveals Nigel Benn stunned as he threatens to pull out his son of catchweight clash with Conor Benn to avoid dangerous weight cut. Eubank Sr. has vowed to scupper his son's historic fight with Conor Benn over the 157-pound catchweight, insisting his life cannot be put in danger. I've already lost one son. I can't lose another. Eubank Jr. and Benn are due to meet London's O2 Arena, October 8th, reigniting a family feud 3 decades after their fathers met in the second instalment of British boxing's greatest rivalry. Sources on both sides. They're gassing, they're capping, big capping right now. Here we go. There's some more leaks here, you best believe it. The 56-year-old said he could take legal action. If they're not going to listen to me, then they'll have to listen to my King's Counsel. That fight does not happen. Wow. If he doesn't take the advice, then I have to put my foot down. Have you ever heard of Russian roulette? Eubank said. When you spin that barrel, that's what he's doing, and I can't let him. I've given him my direction. If he doesn't want to follow it, he will be dragged along. But he will do what is right for him. Wow, daddy's boy. He is coming down 1 pound below 160, which cannot happen on my watch. Wow. Eubank Sr., whose son Sebastian's died last year at 29, added, "This is modern day gladiating. This is not a plaything for the audience. We have to be strict, otherwise lives are put in danger, and my son's life cannot be put in danger. I've already lost one. It can happen again, especially when Conor Benn is about to set about you. If you have a child and someone's trying to actually take that child away from you and do something wrong to that child, this is bad. And this is the thing, I told you, man, in my last video, Senior has been having nightmares of the things Conor Benn gonna do to him. Yeah, I'm the one who came on here and said, listen, I'm putting coin on Conor Benn to set about this guy. No, oh, YB, you having a laugh. Everyone thought it was a big joke. Oh, YB, you made it up. You made it up that Chris Eubank Sr. is shook. Oops. Now it all comes out, YB 100% correct again. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones. Oh, YB, you haven't really spoke to Senior. Why is Senior saying, word for word, everything I said a month ago? Whilst all these other clown channels was repeating what they heard. Oops. Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah. Conor Benn is fixing to do something wrong to my child. Yeah? And as a dad, you wouldn't let him. That's all I'm doing. Simple as that. Conor Benn ain't here to play. Yeah? Senior's not blind. He sees his son as a clown show. He's a clown. Everyone can see it. Yeah? What do you think? Senior's blind? Absolutely not. Senior knows his son. He's a clown. Yeah? And clowns must be protected. Because guess what? There's a reason you don't hear Nigel Benn. And really, Nigel Benn has more to be worried about, in theory, because Nigel Benn's got the smaller guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Nigel Benn's got the half pint. In that sense. In a less experienced half pint. That's what Nigel Benn's got. Guess what? You don't hear Nigel Benn crying. You don't hear Nigel Benn begging. Nigel Benn, you heard him. Nigel Benn backing his son. Yeah, my son gonna do it. Oops. Yeah. You know, it's one of them ones. Backing his son. Why can't Eubank Sr. do the same? And I'm sorry, the whole £3 thing, bullshit. I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Eubank's been at 160 his whole career. No problem. You're about to go in there with a £10 weight advantage. How can you not come down? Not being funny here, but for me, a £3 weight drop is the minimum really that made sense. Because 159, that's not a weight cut, is it? £1, that's not a weight cut. It couldn't be any less than £3 for it to make sense. For it to be fair for a 147 pounder coming up 2 weight divisions. How could you not? I don't see how you can cut less than £3, to be quite frank. And it's not as if, yeah, I would have a lot more sympathy for Eubank if he'd have been campaigning at 168. The guy's still fighting at 160 anyway. Oops, do you understand? He's at 160. So he hasn't even shown that, for example, Canelo moved up to 168, he moved up to 175, and he hasn't been to 160 for 5 years. I get that. Eubank at 160. Now, I'm going to put a potential theory out there. Is it possible they're just clout chasing? Is it possible Eubank is just clout chasing? I don't think so. Whilst we know with these kind of productions they love the whole drama thing, the reason I don't believe that to be the case is because you got to remember, boxing is a masculine culture. No one. Why would you want? Basically, right now, Senior's coming across as a beater. He's coming across like his son is beater. Oh, I don't want my son to get his pack smoked, and oh, my son gonna get roasted by the Conor Benn. Oh, Conor Benn gonna set about my son and take my son away. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not cool. That can only be a real statement, if you get what I'm saying. Who would agree to that? Why would Senior agree to mug his family off? And mug his son off to be weak? It wouldn't make sense. So this proves it's coming pure from the heart from Senior. And again, let's not forget history, people. I've seen Senior, for example, Eubank versus Groves. I've seen Senior sit up there with Junior and be as gassed as him. Oh, George, you're too old. My son gonna set about you. Yeah? I've seen. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch Eubank versus Groves press conference. Senior was saying the same things, if not more, doing the most with Junior. So, what that tells you is, when Senior's confident, Senior's confident. Yeah? Guess what? You didn't hear Senior saying, oh, I don't want to lose a son, when Eubank was about to fight Groves. No, he was saying, Groves, you're old, you're shot worn, and you're going to be food. Yeah? So it begs the question, why now, for the biggest rivalry ever, why isn't Eubank Sr. saying the same things? Oops. Yeah, it's one of them ones. He don't believe, bottom line number one, he don't believe it. And the reason he don't believe it is because he see Conor Benn ain't playing. He ain't playing with it. And I've already mentioned before the other aspects, the whole legacy shtick. Imagine that. Eubank's got the legacy set in stone. He topped Benn. He wants it to stay there. Eubank's looking at his legacy thinking that there's no point risking it from his point of view. The only point to risk it would be if there was some upside. Like, oh, my son's about to clap another Ben. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. If Eubank thought there was some easy pumpkin Ben food out there, yeah? If Eubank Sr. thought, yeah, there was a big plate of Ben food, you best believe he'd be, you know what I mean? He'd be gassing his son up to go and eat it. He'd be telling him, yeah, go eat that food, 100%. Eat food, go eat, you know what I mean? 100%. He'd be saying, listen, Conor Benn is food, go eat, son. Yeah, go get yours. That's what he'd be saying word for word. But yeah, guess what? You ain't hear nothing about getting yours. You ain't hear nothing about food. All you hear about, oh, my son gonna get got, and oh, you know, my child, I'm gonna lose my child. Do you know what I'm saying? End of the day. Like I said, I wouldn't mind, but it's only £3. The way the guy carrying on. Listen, if you're that bothered about £3, maybe you should have told your son to stop eating a big bucket of KFC. How about that? You know what? Let's start there, shall we? Let's start at not eating a big bucket of KFC on the TV. Thinking is all hard. And that's the last thing I'm going to say on this video, yeah. And I should have known. I said to you, man, at the start of the video. I thought it was odd the way this clown, Mr. Eubank Jr. was acting. He was clowning off. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Giving it all that. Oh, yeah, you know, my name, Eubank, and I don't jerk off, and, you know, I got girls. You ain't got no girls, man. You got your hand. That's what you got. Yeah? Only thing you got for sure is your hand. 100% you got no girls. But, yeah, I don't. Yeah, giving it the big one. Doing way too much. Oh, I got the KFC. Oh, I'm at the YouTube boxing event, and I'm eating KFC. I thought, what's this guy on? I've even had people message me saying, what's this guy on? This guy's zesty. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Now we know what it was. Yeah, Eubank knew he had no intention of doing the fight. He was there for clout. Bottom line. And I gotta say this. I rate Conor Benn because guess what? Conor Benn, he was what we call dialed in. Do you understand? Conor Benn was dialed in. He weren't looking to play no games. That's what he wasn't looking to do. You understand? He weren't looking to play no games. He was dialed to the in. And that's why you man, the YB don't miss. I told you. The coins right now, the coins are liking Ben. Because he 100% certy with it. He looking to play no games. He on this thing. Yeah? And this clown case here, I ain't trying to see no... From now on, I don't want to hear from no more clowns. Too many clowns in this game. Wasting people's time. Most people didn't even like the fight initially, but you know what? If you're going to do it, do it. What you shouldn't do, what we ain't going to have, is a fight we didn't even want, or a fight that don't even make sense, and you can't even get it done. You're clowning for clout. That's what this was. This was a PR thing from Eubank Jr. He thought, ooh, no, Conor Benn's on the up right now. Conor Benn's hot. Let's just get in the way of his career and try and turn his career into mine. Realistically, yeah, Eubank Jr.'s career is like the nobody career. Yeah? The career that went nowhere. The career on the path to nowhere. That's where it is. The guy that's been dipping in and out, doing God knows what. Doing odd jobs. My man's had an odd job career. Yeah? Beat this guy, beat that guy, yeah? Lose to that guy, lose to this guy. And he see Conor Benn building up nicely, and he thinks, ooh, let's see if I can get in there and mingle it all up. Anyway, listen. What can I say here? I mean, it's messy, to say the least. And it proves what I said. Conor Benn, Eubank Sr. has disowned his son. Bottom line. Yeah? Disowned him. And I said that in my last video. No one listened. Eubank don't want to be on his son's team. He don't like this fight. Yeah, and to be quite frank, from what I've heard, a lot of the narrative he's giving about the weight, that's just an excuse from what I've heard. I've heard it's nothing to do with the weight. I've heard the truth is he don't want his legacy being potentially or most likely being brought into disrepute. Yeah, that's what he don't want. The weight thing's convenient. Yeah, that's a good bar. Oh, I've lost my other son. Let me bring that bar in. That's a bar that's going to get the public on my side. But listen, fighters have huge egos, yeah? Eubank Sr. lives in his ego. And on that basis, people like that, yeah, would trade in their son, not the, you know what I'm saying? People like Eubank Sr. would trade in one of their sons to have that win over Nigel Benn still. That's how they man. I'm just saying what it is. A lot of these top ego cats, yeah, they would do things like that. They would sell their son to be able to get that W. You know what I'm saying? To maintain that W. And that's the reason he's kicking up a fuss. That's the underlying reason. He doesn't have belief in his son. Can get the job done. Let's not forget, I've already mentioned, Eubank Sr. has been there many times, gassing his son up, only for his son to fail. Yeah, Eubank Sr. was there, gassing his son up to beat Billy Joe. Yeah, lost. Gassing his son up to beat George Groves. Lost. He's got no faith. And now he sees it's one thing losing to Groves, it's one thing losing to Billy Joe. It's a whole nother ball game losing to this. It's not even like, it wouldn't be so bad if it was a proper Benn versus Eubank, like a proper 160 versus 160. But what does that do to a man's legacy when your kin, your namesake, gets topped by a small pint version? You know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate. Not only did your kin and your namesake lose, he lost to a dude half his size on some AJ thing. Yeah? There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than being big on buff and losing to some small fry. That's the worst way to go out. Yeah? Invalidating billions of years of evolution. 100%. Anyway, let's see how the saga unravels. I'd like to think that Eubank Jr. will have some backbone. But the guy's a daddy boy. Yeah, if daddy says whatever, he can do it. So at the end of the day, consider the fight off. The fight's a wrap, folks. 100%, no doubt about it.